Down in second from Chris Kane, Daniel Harris, Chris White, Brian Heidecker, Paul Jamieson, Chris Wallinger to our 650 Pro Twin, and Dennis Charlotte. No, he didn't have it all his own way. Slipped back in one of the races, Bailey Perrott, and you've got to watch this, folks. You've got to watch this because last week, what was that margin? Thousandths of a second at the end for the 3 1,000ths. I think it's quite a 3 1,000ths of a second. Between the guys. Now watch this called a split start rather than what we saw before when two classes have left the line at the same time. This is now actually a split start. Even though there's two classes as there was with lightweight and the 250, it's deemed that they can be the same. And the reason for doing this way is the 125s have definitely a different starting means because they're a higher geared small cylinder road bike, which means that if you mix them up in amongst the other guys, you'll get some bikes starting faster than others. So that's a wise move for safety because 125s start terribly slow because they are slow, highly geared. So wise move for safety there that they've got the split start, so they were just 10 seconds or so back behind the others. So 125, so just because they're behind means nothing. All it means is that they've got a way to their own group to start, and we'll be keen to watch out for them. And the 15 of Rogan Chandler will be a hard man to beat, I'm sure. So keen to look out for his performance. But Dennis Charlotte, Bailey Perrott and 82.33, their bike numbers respectively. Watch those two guys. They were so close last week. Trading Plate, they're both from the same race team, Man About Glass. Aaron Shrell's team out of Christchurch, the local Canterbury Glazier. So there we go with the guys, and looking out there at the moment. Dennis from Bailey, the margin of 0.3 of a second. Well, that margin, when you say 0.3, you know is close, but when you look at them down through there, probably to be that fast along the straight, 4, maybe 5 bike lengths. No, it'll be less now, but it's at the point it was as they went across the Mobile 1 lap score dot here on Teratonga's front straight. It actually reflected that Dennis was probably further in front than he'd been in any of the racing last weekend. That's how close these guys were together. So great to watch. And you'll see the Man About Glass race team, a different paint job. So those two guys standing out in the crowd, two of them from the same team, a lot of respect for each other. Dennis, of course, well, Bailey could be his son very easily by age, and that's no disrespect to Dennis. Dennis, instead of campaigning superbikes as he'd done last year, where he finished second, the year before, of which he'd won. One year he won both superbikes and the 600 class. That was legendary, of course. He's been a multi-times champion, but just saying, hey, enough's enough. I'm a family man now, lovely wife, 2 kids, and just saying, hey, I want to don't spend as much time preparing to be the ultimate champion. So he's now riding in other classes, but not just 1 or 2. He's gone to 3 classes, 3 different bikes. So you'll find him on a Bears bike. So he's been out there in Bears racing, but not at this event, but he was last week. And also, of course, now here on the lightweight bike, the KTM, and now here on the Pro Twin, which is the Suzuki SV650. So great to watch out there. And keen to look at here as well. The boys are just looking at the binoculars here, so just keen to look out for just to watch Dad here on the screen. So Bailey, Dennis, Carl, Nathan, Benjamin, Rob, then Dean Bentley. So Dean in 7th place, Pro Twin lineup, and at this stage 3.6 seconds off the race lead in front of Ryan Badshaw, Phil Munt, Jordan Knowles and Shane Hildred in our update of Pro Twins. So Pro Twins and a flying good start for these guys out there, along of course with our 125s as well.
All right, a massive race out there. Hey, I've got to take my hat off to Nathan Jane. I've never heard that name much before until last weekend. He was further down in the field. This man's never really been to the South Island of motorcycle before, and I was going to take my hat off to him there for being in 4th spot. But as I say that, he's moved up into 3rd space, ahead of the current New Zealand 650 Pro Twin champion Ben Rosendale. And on Sunday night at Ruapuna, there was very, very few people left in the pits, and Nathan Jane was there with his mate and had a bit of a chat to them. He says, oh no, we just got out of Auckland and decided to do the Nationals. They have no real expectations, but look at him, he's lying there 3rd on the track, and that's absolutely outstanding. No sponsors, just the number 97 on his, number 97 on the side of his bike. Yellow, orange number boards here, and absolutely outstanding for Nathan Jane from Auckland. And look at his lap time as well, 105.880 for Dennis Charlotte. He's running at a 105.835. In fact, he's the quickest on the track. Nathan Jane, a 105.835. Oh no, Bailey Perrott. That's the last lap. Okay, that's the last lap. Yep. All right, apologise for that. Let's look at the race, the lap record as well.
Taking nothing away from your good story, though. It is a good story from Nathan Jane, definitely.
Lap record, 106.004. So 2 lap records in 2 weekends so far for Bailey Perrott. And look at them going through the start-finish line, 64 thousandths of a second. They can get closer to this. They do get closer to this, going around that big sweeper there, close right up there. I can't even see who's out in the front at the moment. I don't know who went through first. It was Dennis Charlotte, but I didn't see whether a change of position. It is still Dennis Charlotte out in the front on the number 84 machine, the number 33 machine in behind there. But look at that, Bailey Perriton runs right round the outside and takes the lead as well as a lap record.
So good to watch, and great to see. We call it trading paint, folks, and these guys are teammates, so they're doing it all with love and affection out there as we watch them firing up out there. Speaking about love and affection, the Dining Out Guide with the great support of the Invercargill Licensing Trust. We've got a whole lot of ILT, great places to wine and dine while you're here in Southland, whether you're a local or a visitor. There's the Spates Ale House, there's the Kiln at Monteith Bar, there's Level 1 at Kelvin Hotel, Waxy O'Shea's, the Irish Pub, there's the famous Lone Star Cafe on D Street, there's the famous Homestead Cobb & Co. There's Embers at Ascot, where we'll be for prize giving tomorrow, and there's the famous Big Willies where you go and cook your own. So you step up, get your cut of meat that you want, and then you go and cook it yourself, and then you go and hop up to the salad and hot food bar and serve it up and have whatever you want. Open Thursday to Sundays from 5. Popular and a lot of fun at the Newfield Tavern in Centre Street here in Invercargill. Newfieldtavern.co.nz, just one of the great places to dine. Homestead, proud to sponsor 650. Pro Twin Racing, along with Southern Honda, the home of Honda Motorcycles on Clyde Street here in Invercargill, and of course Big Willies in the 125 lineup. And not forget the Big Willies lineup, because 125's Rogan Chandler first, but back in 9th overall, followed by Ashley Weller, and this man Daniel Harris making a new name for himself up there. So in fact, no, Chris Kane's just gone past him. Chris Kane to go past Daniel from Chris Wallinger and Chris White, Brian Hardacre back in our field. So we ring true again with Rogan Chandler still proving he's a hotshot 125 pilot, Spider.
Oh, definitely, but I take my hat off to Ashley Weller, 104 kilograms, 104 kilograms. The man's a Goliath, you know. Yeah, on a 125, he's taller than me, and he's just a big man. He's a forester by trade, and absolutely outstanding by him. Okay, we talked about lap records. Bailey Perriton had it, and then along came Ben Rosendale and took the lap record from Bailey Perriton. Now Nathan Jane has got that lap record, so we're down. Nathan Jane is down into the 104.923. So when we came to this meeting, we had a 106.004 by Brian Hill, set in 2016, and it says 16th to the 1st, 2016, so not too sure what's going on there. That's in the future, isn't it? No, it's maybe 2 days ago. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But Nathan Jane, mate, I was just talking about earlier on, an amateur from Auckland that's just come for a South Island tour to race motorbikes and set a lap record, and now sitting in 4th place there. Bailey Perriton's gone down to 3rd. Ben Rosendale's gone up into 2nd, so there's a split between the two man-about glass machines as we look out for the leaders there. They're coming along into the front straight very, very shortly.
So how do you get that you've actually got the guy that's in 4th place in the race, but yet he's the fastest one on the racetrack? It's a bit like what we watched with our superbikes before, Spider, with the 4 Suzuki's of Scott Moyer, Andrew Stroud, along with Sloane Frost and John Ross. That John Ross at one stage was the fastest, yet here he was back in 4th place, gaining on the others. So sometimes when you've got a gaggle of riders that are in there, they don't necessarily have the fastest times because they're all watching for the other. They're slipstreaming, or they're looking for the place to do the pass, and they might have to just touch the brakes where they wouldn't otherwise if they had an open run. Whereas with the, see there's a good example. Look at the change. I think it could be a change coming up on the inside, or if it wasn't going to be, it was an almost change. As the fearsome foursome that we've got out here at the moment, Dennis Charlotte, Ben Rosendale and Bailey Perriton, Nathan Jane, at their times, those 4 riders separated by 0.7. That's not the margin between any one of them. That's the margin from 1st back to 4th is less than 1 second. Pro Twin Racing is unbelievable. Courtesy of the Homestead, your Cobb & Co. open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. dining for all ages and all occasions on the corner of Avenel and D Streets right here in Invercargill. It's Cobb at ilt.co.nz, and the white flag for these guys. So we're coming up towards the checkered. Should be a showdown piece with the 4 of them as we look at this. Oh, freight train again. Oh, 3 of those 4 were all within a bike length of each other. 3 of the 4s. Dennis has got it again. Dennis Charlotte. And what have we seen still? No, still that Nathan Jane back at lap 6. That was an 8-lapper, Spider. So Nathan Jane is now the new lap record holder, and there he is back in 4th place. Unbelievable how good it was. Is that the 47, 48 years of age that does that? Because how does Dennis Charlotte get to win by that kind of margin?
Well, I was there when the white flag came out there. I looked at Nathan Jane, and he was almost going past Bailey Perriton. Bailey was in 3rd place, and I thought, Bailey,